Welcome, everybody, to the Eden Army podcast. I'm excited tonight, a little nervous too. We got a pretty good show. I am your host, Pete Robertucci, my good friend, and someone I consider my brother. Russ Sawyer is in the background making all of this stuff work. So thank you to him. We'll bring him out in a little bit. For those of you that are new, we do this show every Thursday night where we talk about current events, things that are going on in the world of post apocalyptic fiction and most importantly, preparedness and the preparedness community. But to you new folks, especially if you're tuning in for the first time, this is our disclaimer, this is our warning. We are not politically correct, and we pride ourselves into telling it like it is. So to heck with the sponsors and to heck with the consequences, we tell it like it is here at the Eden Army podcast. We stream on all the major platforms, but our biggest fan base is over at kick.com. And by the way, over there on Kick, thanks to everybody that resubscribed this month. We appreciate that. If you don't know what Kick is, do a little scan here on this QR code, and you're going to hit all of our social networks, and Kick is on there. Tonight on the podcast, we're going to talk about the Trump effect and how he's shaping global politics before he even gets into office. Of course, later on, we're going to talk about the fiasco that's happening in LA. But before all that, and most importantly, we have someone on tonight's show that basically saved my life over there in Las Vegas. This introvert probably never would have left a hotel room had it not been for this young lady. So we're going to bring in preparedness guru and post-apocalyptic author, Miss Millie Copper, right after this message.
Let's go, Will! Change the magazine! Change it! Shoot him! Will, Zach is now dead. Holster your firearms. Outstanding. Lock the slides back, pick up your magazine. Let's do it again.
There we go, guys. Don't forget Troy's Gate Experience, May 5th and 6th, directly after 6th and 7th. I don't know. Russ will tell me here in a minute. But directly after the Mountain Readiness event, we're doing it again this year. So we look forward to having you guys sign up for that. But without any further ado, I'd like to welcome to the show Miss Millie Copper. Let me try to figure out how to do this without Russ. Got it. Millie, welcome. Welcome to the show, young lady.
Hello.
So it's good having you here.
Thanks for asking me. And I love that commercial you just showed. You're awesome.
No, it's a lot of work and a lot of aggravation, but that really is my passion, though. I love firearms training. It's something I don't do enough of, but I've been doing it probably for 20, 25 years. So it really is my passion. I kind of dig it. So I had mentioned, Millie, that how you saved my life in Las Vegas. And I don't know how many people were at that Vegas conference, maybe 1,000, 2,000.
Yeah, I think close to 1,100, 1,200.
Yeah,
a lot of people.
And a lot of people. So a lot of people in a small place. I don't do people very well, Millie. So I kind of, and I apologize because I kind of gravitated in your direction because you were like a friendly face. And you find that person and they just have this aura about them. And you're like, I hope she doesn't think I'm a stalker, but she just seems like a really nice person. And this sea of other people, I don't dig them right now. So I apologize for being in your your coat pocket for most of that conference.
I I didn't mind at all. I didn't even know you were stalking me until you just told me a little bit ago. So,
Well, I can remember walking into that big conference hall. I think the comedian was going, and I'm looking around, and I'm like, my wife, it says, "Go talk to people." And I looked around. I go, "No, I'm going back to the room." And I saw you over there in the back over there, and I go, "Okay, I can stay for a little bit longer." so, so
yeah,
Millie,
and we didn't know each other before Vegas, so
no,
that
not
was
at all.
very cool.
Yeah, it was very cool, and I think Franklin Horton, our buddy, might have made the
Yep.
introduction. I'm not sure, but that's what I love about this genre in particular, though, is everybody is just so darn friendly. But tell the viewers now. You are a post-apocalyptic author. Tell the viewers just a little bit about yourself for those that don't know.
I'm Millie Copper. I write cozy post-apocalyptic fiction. My series tend to be prepper heavy, a lot of preparedness tips in it, a lot of family stuff. There's no lone wolves, it's people working together to survive. I really got a kick out of when my first books came out. I we were talking before about not reading a lot about what people write about our books,
Hmm.
but I used to. And I remember reading a review that said something about how there was too much prepper stuff in it and what was up with these people going to the store and buying all the toilet paper. And this was before the pandemic. So when the pandemic happened and the toilet paper emptied out, man, I was laughing for weeks. I still laugh when I think about it. It's still me. It's still funny to me
I
because
know,
that review is like, nobody'd buy toilet paper. Really?
right?
Yes.
Absolutely. So,
Yes.
in addition to writing post-apocalyptic, and I think you have like 25 titles out or something like that.
I something like that. I would struggle to count them, to be quite honest with you.
I
So
I
I should know
strive
this. It's
I
just something I
strive
just know.
someday to get there, and I'm sure Katie, who's watching over there on Kick, hopes I get there too at some point. But wow, that's amazing. From what I understand, not only do you write, okay, but you're also a pretty active person. You hike, snowboard, amongst other things.
I ski. My son snowboards. I ski. I tried snowboarding once and I broke my everything. So
Yeah.
I that was it for me. But I do ski.
Were you always active, or did something prompt that?
Yeah, no, when I was younger, yes, but then I wasn't active at all for several years, and I got pretty sick. It's called menopause, and
Oh,
it really was not pleasant. Uh,
mhm,
and after that, I started feeling better, and I'm like, I got to do something else. So we were living in a different place in Wyoming then, and we had a small little farm where we did chicken tractors. We raised chickens for meat, and we went out and moved their little pens around.
mhm.
And that was really how I started getting active, was by taking care of the chickens. And then we got goats, and then it just kind of all added up on top of that. And I needed more. So we started doing a lot of hiking and backpacking, and we've always done camping, and we harvest our own food by hunting. So there's always been that outdoorsy stuff. But I think it was the end of 2001, I saw this thing for the 52 hike challenge where you just do a hike a week, and I thought, well, I'm going to do that. So I did that in 2022 and 2023, and somewhere along the way, my husband and son would joined me, and we started trail running also. So my husband, he's a real trail runner. He did a 50-mile trail run last summer on Grand Mesa.
Wow.
Yeah, I know, he's pretty awesome, and he'll be 56 at the end of this month. So it's pretty cool that he started doing that, just in the last couple of years. I'm maxed out at a half marathon distance right now, but trail running is very fun because you're in the mountains, and I like it because you're not always running. When there's a hill coming up, we call that power walking,
The
and it
perfect,
feels good.
exactly.
Yeah, yeah. So I call myself a trail runner, but really I'm a power walker.
Well, you'd be proud of us then. Me and a bunch of our readers and friends are going to do a little hike at the end of the month, and they wanted to do the same path that took place in my first book, from Juniper Springs to a place called Hidden Pond. So I'm bringing a bunch of friends out there, and we're going to bring our bug out bags, and we're going to live out of that for 3 days. So you'd be proud of
Wow.
me. Yeah.
Distance.
Yeah, it's not very far. It's only 6 miles in, 6 miles out. But, a lot of times in preparedness, you don't actually train with your stuff, right? So
Exactly.
6 miles, that'll be a good start for them, and then we'll progress from there.
6
So
miles carrying a pack, depending on your elevation, it might be challenging.
well, and
So
and down here in Florida, it's not so bad with the elevation, but the problem is the sugar sand. So imagine walking on the
oh,
beach in soft sand. That's pretty much what we'll be going through. So it'll be a good time. It'll knock the cobwebs off some people and maybe give them an idea that you can live off more than you really think you need. So hopefully we lighten down our packs and we make them understand that. So
yeah.
speaking about, go ahead.
Oh, I was just gonna say, the first time I backpacked, I was way heavy. My pack was way heavy, and I didn't need nearly I didn't need 4 changes of clothes for 2 days.
No.
So, you really learn.
When me and my daughter did the Appalachian Trail, where we were section hiking it, and I found myself on the first day eating as much food as I could because I just wanted to drop the weight. 'Cause I wasn't even hungry. I was just eating everything I could eat. So, um, but that's one thing we don't realize in preparedness is the importance of being active. Do you find that's a good tool for preparedness? Is that something that you kind of rely on?
I think it's important, and I think it is something that we really don't focus a lot on. It's so much fun to buy stuff and to, fill up the pantries, to fill up the closet, to have all these gazmos and gazmos and yeah, I can't even talk.
Right? Yeah.
But yeah, but what if, I lived off grid for 3.5 years, and we don't even live out in the wilderness. We live rurally, but we have people around us. You would not believe the amount of work it is to live off grid, even when everybody around you has electricity and is living a normal life.
Right.
So it's uh, that's a real huge eye opener to the amount of work required, and how many people are going to be able to do that if the time comes. Um,
Right, exactly, and we had Brian, Duff from Mind for Survival on last week, and he talked about the mental aspect of preparing and when stuff hits the fan, right? And, that's a big deal, and if you're lugging 50 pounds on your back, how demoralizing is that, right? So,
yeah,
interesting.
yeah, and I think the mental aspect is important in our day-to-day life too. I find this really interesting. I do have a nonfiction book. Can't remember what I called it. I called it something. Let me see. It's called Introduction to Pre-Apocalyptic Fitness, and it's all about getting fit now before the apocalypse. And one thing I do discuss in that book is the mental aspect, and in our day-to-day life exercise and fitness can really help with our mental health now too. I think it was Asics, the shoe company, that did a study, and they determined that 15 minutes and 9 seconds of exercise a day can improve a person's mental health. Uh, that's all. I mean, 15 minutes and 9 seconds, that's not a lot to get better mental health. And this part I really like. Uh, Teenagers between the ages of 15 and 17 who regularly engage in physical activity have better mental health into adulthood.
Well, don't tell my wife that because she says I'm mental to begin with. So if she gets me out there running again, I'm gonna blame it on you. She's watching over there on Kick right now, so
It'll be all my fault.
it's gonna be your
So
fault. So
you and my husband could do an ultra marathon together.
yeah, that's definitely not gonna happen. Not we now. Me and Melissa have done some half marathons, but I'm like you. I think that's my limit right there. I think I'm done doing that.
I do have a little dream to do a full, like an ultra marathon of 50K, which is only 31 miles. I'd like to do that, but
Only
I don't know. I time out because they're usually limited at 15 hours, 10 hours. They're usually limited at like 10 hours, and I don't think I could get that done in 10 hours.
yeah. That's just not any. I can barely do that in a car, let alone jogging. So so you had mentioned earlier that you do write in the post-apocalyptic genre, 25 plus books, somewhere around there, and but you've taken it into a little bit different direction, and you coined a term earlier called cozy post-apocalyptic. Please explain that to my viewers.
Well, I don't know if I can, I can explain it really well. So my first book came out in 2019. And when I was putting everything together, when I was finishing it up, I was talking with a friend about how, it's post-apoc, but it's, I don't cuss in my books and there's no sex in my books. I know. And I kill everybody,
Well,
but I
that's
don't go into the gory details of it.
gotcha.
So she said, "Oh, it's like a cozy mystery, only it's post-apoc." And I said, "Oh, yes, it is." And so now I
And
am the writer of cozy post-apocalyptic
and
fiction.
the only one I know of, as a matter of fact. But I like that you still keep the aspects of, listen, violence can happen. You don't have to get so graphic with it.
Oh yeah, it gets a little gritty.
Yeah, and violence would certainly happen in a post-apocalyptic situation. Now, I thought I was speaking to Jeff Moats, and he says, "Well, how's your book? Is it clean?" I go, "Yeah, it's clean. I don't use the Lord's name in vain in any spot." But then I had the Audible version done, and I listened to it, and I go, "My
Oops.
characters drop the F bomb like it's going out of style," and I'm like, "No, Jeff, it's not good for 14-year-olds anymore." So.
Yeah, no F-bombs in my book. I do make a point of keeping those out, and there's also a faith element weaved within my stories too.
Sure.
I try not to beat people over the head with that, but it is there.
Yeah, and I
So
think I think I'm the same way. There is certainly an underlying tone to well, I'm not hiding it because of that, because I'm a faithful person. I'm not hiding that, but there is an underlying tone. I'm not going to beat it above, beat anyone's head about it. But look, everyone has a right to make their own decision. But I'm going to tell you my opinion on some stuff here and there. So, I
yeah,
mean,
and
we have an
and not
obligation.
everybody in my books are Christian.
Sure,
So, you get
sure,
what you get. I did see
exactly.
somebody in the comments saying no killing the dog.
Hmm.
I might have done that. It was not good, but
Well, that
I
would.
only because he was a hero. He did die a hero,
Oh my
and it was
goodness.
off screen.
Oh, okay. All right. Yeah, that's rough.
It was it was like Old Yeller type thing,
That was
No.
one of the first pieces of advice I got, and I can't remember who did it. She's a female in the genre. Edge of Collapse. Kyla.
Kyla Stone.
Yeah,
Yeah.
she says, I was telling her about my books and how, listen, like, I got a dog as a main character. I'm thinking in book 2, I'm going to off him. She goes, "Don't do it. Because if you do it, people are going to hate your guts." And I go,
Yeah.
"Well, I kind of already wrote it." And she goes, "Change it, knucklehead." I go, "Okay."
Yeah, I actually didn't get any bad, well, nobody actually came out and said, "Oh, I hate that you did that." They did say, "Oh, he was such a good dog and he died a hero."
Oh,
So
there you go. There you go. Well, maybe I can spin it that way. So my dog Sawyer in the books, he might come to a heroic end at some point. I don't know. Don't even.
your dog is Sawyer?
Yeah. Well, my number one
Seems
fan says, "Don't even think about it." So, and that's the one thing I like about this genre, Millie, is that the people that write post-apocalyptic actually live that self-reliant lifestyle, right? Now,
I'd say for the most part, yes.
yeah, there may be a couple that are spending a lot of money in advertising that may live in condos in New York City. I don't know them personally, but everybody I know actually lives the lifestyle. And at one point, you lived completely off grid, you had mentioned earlier. How long did you live off grid for?
Yeah, so completely off grid with a cell phone, internet, and a small solar system. So,
No,
uh,
that's off.
but
That
not
was off grid.
connected.
Yeah.
The only thing connected was the internet. So about 3.5 or 4 years. Well, we were building. We have a little cabin type house that we were building, and when we moved in, we didn't even have running water. So, well, we did. We had our the joke was the running water only happened because my husband would run out to the well and get it and bring it in 5 gallons at a time. So, but I couldn't like turn a faucet and get water. So we didn't have running water. The all of our appliances in the beginning, did all of the cooking outside on a rocket stove or during the winter inside on the wood stove. Um, our heat. wood stove only. Did I mention I live in Wyoming? It gets a little chilly here.
Yeah,
So
that's a
yeah,
job just cutting down wood and stuff like that, I
correct.
imagine.
Yeah, it's a lot of work. It's a lot of work to get enough wood for the winter. And that is still our only heat is the wood stove. We plug in, electric heaters, like if we're going to be gone for the weekend or something, we plug those in because we do now have running water and the pipes will freeze. But yeah, we were off the grid. The electric is a kind of a medium to small to medium system. And
Mhm.
if we didn't have enough sunshine, we would go on electric, what do we call it? Rations. We're on electricity rations tonight. So yeah, so we had the oil lamps. We would entertain. We would have people over, and we would have dinner by oil lamp
Wow. That
with the dinner that I cooked on the wood stove or
I love
outside in the
that.
yard.
I love that. That's the way we all should be living, actually. What
Yeah.
made you decide to kinda migrate away from that lifestyle?
It's a lot of work. It is a lot of work. My husband originally, when we moved up to this house, my husband is a certified permaculturist, and we had anticipated kind of setting up a little homestead using the permaculture principles and he doing permaculture for other people. And he decided he didn't like trying to have his own business. He preferred working for the man. So he got a job, again, working a regular job. And it's a lot of work to be off the grid, bringing in water and doing laundry by hand. I did the laundry and all of that. So when we had an opportunity to have electricity put in, we took it.
Perfect. Now, you had
Yeah.
mentioned earlier that, cozy post-apocalyptic, books that you write, they're say this is a good avenue for younger people, I imagine, to get into, right? I mean, there's nothing that would thwart that or kinda
Um,
turn people away?
as far as like reading or
Sure.
writing? Yeah.
Reading, yeah.
So I still and I do have readers who tell me that they read the books as a family, but I mean, I do still kill people. So I always do advise the parents, you might want to read it first.
Right.
So, because there is, death and there's all kinds of bad stuff that can happen in the apocalypse. And even though I don't go into the details about women taking into slavery, I do
Right.
hint at it.
Sure.
So yeah, so it is adult subject matter.
Well, but that's good because that gives the parents the opportunity, if they want to explain what could happen in an event like that, right? I mean, that they can put their own words to it and make it as soft as they or hard as they want, I imagine, right?
Exactly. Yes, you can, skim over those parts, even though I'm not given the details of what's happening. It's clear what's happening, so you can skim it even more. So
Russ just sent me a note. She says, "Are you familiar with a young man named Billy Bond from Permaculture Pasture Farms?"
mm, I don't think
No,
I know him.
news
No.
to me, news to me. So,
Yeah.
so
I did
in,
meet Will Wheaton at an event. He has a permaculture thing. Not Will Wheaton. I'm sorry. What is his name?
you
I can't think
you
of his
had
name.
me
He
because
has
I
a
thought you
That'd
meant
be
someone
cool.
from
If
Star
I met
Trek. I'm
Will
like,
Wheaton, that would be cool. Will something. He has a permaculture place up in Montana. So, but I can't remember. I can't remember his name. He's actually really famous in permaculture
wow.
circles. I'll try and
Okay,
come up
there
with
you
it.
go. So, since you lived the preparedness lifestyle for quite a long time, in addition to writing fiction, and something I'm very interested in is your nonfiction books, which I understand this correct? You can get a download of those on your website, buy them right from your website if you want.
Right. My nonfiction, you can order the ebooks direct from my website or paperback books. You can get signed paperback books direct from my website in either fiction or nonfiction. And the nonfiction ebooks are direct on my website. I think there's 9 or 10 of those. So the pre-apocalyptic fitness book, Introduction to Pre-Apocalyptic Fitness, is my most recent. But some of the books, because I started off not writing fiction. I was actually a nonfiction author first I had a blog from, I guess I started that in like 2009 on traditional foods and preparedness and homesteading. And I wrote 3 or 4 books first. And I actually ended up writing a fiction book because I read this book by an author I knew, Wayne Stinnett, who writes, he writes like sea adventure books. And I liked his books, and I read this book that he wrote on how to sell books. And I thought, okay, maybe I can get some tips to revive my nonfiction business. And then by the time I finished it, I decided I might as well just write a fiction book, because that's what his book was all about. So I kept up with the nonfiction books while concentrating on the fiction books. And usually now for the nonfiction, what happens is I teach classes like at preparedness expos. I go to, especially like Sandpoint, they have the panhandle preparedness, and I convince them to let me teach a class, and I always have a book to go with the class. So some of my favorite stuff to teach about is traditional foods and how that works with your food storage. So I have sourdough for your food storage, and sprouts for your food storage, and no cook foods for your food storage, and just different things to expand your food storage. Because, we're told, what is it, 600 pounds of wheat per person, or 600 pounds of grain. So if you have all of that wheat, what are you going to do with it? You better have some ideas. And sourdough is great. It's good for your gut. If you do a long soak sourdough, it improves your gut health. Which, that's something that I think we need to think about if we're ever in an emergency situation, is if you change your diet really fast, bad things happen. So,
Absolutely. Especially if you're living off dehydrated or freeze-dried food and stuff like that, you're going to have some issues, especially for those of us that have eaten MREs for an extended amount of time. We know that wreaks havoc on your digestive system. Millie, let me ask you this. Now, what would you say? Now, I'm a fat Italian guy, obviously. So my wife has been on this sourdough kick here recently. So she's got the starter and she gets it from all over places and she does this, but she doesn't let me eat it because apparently I'm on some kind of diet, which I don't understand how you can do that to an Italian guy and take his bread away. It doesn't
it's
make
just
any sense.
cruel.
It's cruel, right? Miss Melissa, listen to this young lady, please. So yeah, that's what I was thinking. It was kind of cruel. So let me open up an invitation to you, Millie. If you ever get a chance to go to Mountain Readiness, the event in Harmony, North Carolina, that's something that you should really consider, because instructors like that are somebody we need over there. And my good friend Bob Toombs runs that, and Angry American Chris Weatherman has a part in that. And Franklin's going to be at it this May, so I'm certainly looking forward to that. So you have an open invitation if you ever want to come to Harmony, North Carolina.
Oh, I'd love to. Can I
Yeah.
go down and teach them about sourdough and sprouts?
Absolutely, they would love
Great.
that. I'm telling you, they would certainly love that. So we talked about the sourdough. We talked about where can we find you?
Oh, you mean like on the social media stuff?
Yeah, not stalking you like I did in Vegas, but
I was going to say, I'm not going to Vegas anytime soon. No. Well, I am on Facebook. I think
Mhm.
it's Millie Copper author, maybe. I have a website, milliecopper.com. I'm on Instagram. I think I'm Cozy Apoc on there, but you can probably put in Millie Copper and find me. So I actually have two channels on there, because one I do my fitness stuff on, Miles for Millie, where I track my hiking and whatever else I'm doing that week. So let's see, Amazon. I'm sure I have an Amazon page too. I
Okay.
don't know the address for that one though. So
So there you go, guys. Hit her up at milliecopper.com, not Cooper, Copper,
not Cooper.
not Cooper. But there's one thing I want to finish with, one thing, Millie, and it's about your business model and how you run your business with your books and stuff like that, because it's something that at some point I would like to emulate with my daughter. Tell us about your daughter's role in your business, because I know you're proud of it, and it's something that I would love to have my daughter get involved with also.
Yes. So I have 5 children. Um, and when I was first writing my fiction books, so when I had my blog, one of my daughters kind of blogged with me, and we had a good time at it, but we didn't do much with it. And then when I decided to write the fiction books, my second born, she read post-apoc, and I'm like, I'm writing these books. I'm probably not going to do anything with them, but I know you read these books, so do you want to take a look? And she read them, and she's like, okay, Mom, I think you can do something with these, but you're going to need to go back to the drawing board. Okay, so she worked with me on that, and then we decided, well, let's just see, because, and I know you probably heard this too, something, I don't know if these are still the numbers, but back in 2018, 2019, when I was looking at putting my first book out, I read this thing that most books, you never even sell more than 100 copies or $100 worth. I can't even remember what it was. So I said, okay, well, we can do this thing, but don't expect much.
Right.
And we also asked the other sisters, we call them the sisters because I have four girls and a boy. He's 16 and they're all adults. All the girls are adults. And so we asked the sisters, do you guys want to go in on this with us? And they're like, no, Mom, it's another one of your crazy ideas. But my number two daughter, she's like, okay. And if you're watching, number two daughter, thank you very much, because she was my biggest fan then. And she's like, we can do this. Let's do this. And the truth is if she wouldn't have said, let's do this, there would be no books. And she's learned everything about what to do. She knows all of them. She's really spearheaded all the marketing. She knows how to do all the formatting. I mean, I could do some of it if I had to, but I don't want to because she knows how. So she just does all of it. The joke is I'm the talent and she does everything else. So, and it's the truth. If it wasn't for her, there would be nothing. In fact, last summer, she had a baby, or last fall, I guess it was when was it? February. Last February, she had a baby, and the baby came 5 weeks early, and I was lost. I didn't even know what to do. And I write with Raventhorn Books also. And Lee could tell you, I think Lee's on. I thought I saw her pop on earlier. She could
Yes, she
tell
said
you
hello. Yep.
it was hard because my daughter Amryn does everything. And for her to even I think she ended up taking 2 months off. It was a lot. And now she's gonna have another baby. So we've got a plan this time. I have to have all of my work done on a certain date because that is it. We are not moving past that. I don't know what I'm going to do again because it's scary. It's scary to think about. But I don't think I answered your question. Honestly, she is my right hand. She just does everything. I don't know what I don't know what I would do without her helping me.
Well, my daughter she's going to business school right now. So I'm like, I go, but this is going to be perfect. I go, you can handle everything else. I can be the lack of talent on the back end, and we can make this work. Chris Taylor asked over there on Facebook, what are the name or some of the books that you have? And you probably know them better than I do, obviously. But I kind of threw up your website here.
Yeah. So Yellowstone County Fall series, that is what I write with Raventhorn. That's in the October Fall world. I also write the Wyoming Fall in the October Fall world. So the last book of those, so I have Wyoming Fall 1, 2, and 3, and then Yellowstone County Fall 1 and 2, and 3 is coming out tomorrow, and that will wrap up the in the October Fall world books, my contribution to them, not the books. There's a whole bunch of other writers, but my contribution to the in the October Fall world will be wrapped up with that release tomorrow.
Wow.
And then yeah, it's exciting. So
Yeah, congratulations. Now I met I think I was in Hindman, Kentucky, and I met Boyd Craven and Leah, and of course Katie came out, who's my editor, came out and to visit, to put a face behind all the terrible words I put on paper. And I was able to hook up with Katie, and we put one book out so far. I'm working on the second one with her. What a great group! What a great group of people, right?
wonderful.
Yeah.
So wonderful. And I mean, just what they're doing is just great. And they are just so fun to work with. I knew Boyd 3, the son to Boyd Jr., but I got to meet Boyd Jr. and Lee and Kevin, who is Boyd 3's son. I already knew him, but I went to Michigan last year and got to spend a full day with them. My daughter moved to Michigan, my oldest one, and only lives like an hour or an hour and a half from them. So it's like it's meant to be. So, but yeah, they're just great. So I'm hoping to do more stuff with Raventhorn. But I also do my own thing under CU Publishing. My first book, and this is where I would recommend you start if you want this, the Havoc in Wyoming series. The first book is you can get for free on my website. It's Wyoming Refuge. You can download the digital copy for free, or you can order the paperback copy direct from me, and I'll sign that for you if you wish. And then there's 7 books, no, 7 in the series plus 3 side stories plus a Christmas story in the Havoc in Wyoming world. So, or in the Havoc in Wyoming series. So I think that's 12. And then I have Montana Mayhem, which is set in the same world. And that's six books and a short story. And then Dakota Destruction, which is set in the same world. That's set over in the Black Hills. And that has a prequel and 5 books with book number 6, which will finish the series, coming out at the end of February.
Wow. Now, are you doing this full time, or do you have another gig going on, or what? I mean,
I still have a job.
wow, how in the
But
world?
I have the best job ever. I've been with the same company for 17 and a half years. I've worked remotely for 16 years. So before it was even cool, I was a remote worker before it was the thing to do. I used to just be part-time with them when I was remote, but I'm officially full-time. I don't really work full-time. Don't tell them. If you're watching this, I do. I work full-time.
No,
No, they know. They
keep paying
know.
her. Keep paying
No.
her full-time wages. She deserves it, for the love of God.
Yeah, they do. They're great to me. They're great to me. And I've thought about not keeping it up, but they're just so great to me that, and
No.
it's just such a good situation that I like working with them. And plus, I'm the kind of person, I think, who needs the structure. I need to have a lot to do. Otherwise, I'd just be, I don't know, cleaning my closets out all day or something like that.
Well, you'd be training for that ultra marathon, is what you would
I
be
might
doing.
be. I might
Well,
be.
look, if you're able to juggle both of them, God bless you. That is awesome.
Well, and
Reverend,
I do have to really schedule because I try to get my writing done early. I think we talked about this. I
yeah.
try to write from like 5:30 to like 8 or 8:30 in the morning and try to
Mhm.
get my words in before the day gets going, because you never know what's going to happen.
So, what does a perfect day in the life of Millie Copper? What is a perfect day in the life of Millie Copper? Tell me. But before you do that, our resident Reverend, the Eden Army Reverend Finch, said, "Look, there's nothing wrong with a little faith-based killing every now and then."
I agree. I agree. So, well, sometimes, you got to do what you got to do. So,
You really have to. Sometimes you can't always turn the other cheek, unfortunately. So
yeah.
what's the perfect day in the life of Millie Copper? Tell me. If you could do anything, what's the perfect day?
Oh, gosh.
I know, right? It wasn't even
So
on the notes, was it?
no, you didn't tell me this one. No. So I mentioned that we hunt most of our food, and my husband loves archery hunting for elk. So my perfect day, can it be a whole weekend? Because I
Sure.
love going up to elk camp with him. We have this old 1971 camp trailer that's just, barely makes it up there every year. But we don't sleep in a tent because I live in grizzly bear country. So we sleep in the little camp trailer, and then he gets up and he goes out and does his hunting, and sometimes I'll go with him, but usually I stay in camp and I sit in my car and I write. There's no internet, so I can't be distracted. So I sit in my car and I write, and he comes back and we have breakfast, and then we go on a hike. And then sometimes I'll go on the evening hunt with him, or I'll stay back and write. Uh, and that sounds pretty good to me.
Perfect. I love it. I love it. Now, everybody that's watching on Kick and YouTube and Facebook and Rumble, now you see why I like this young lady so much. I gravitated toward her. I felt safe around her. So excellent. Miss Millie, I'm going to leave you with the last words before we end this segment. Anything you'd like to send out there? We certainly pimp out your book a little bit. That's coming out tomorrow. That's exciting. And also, guys, let you in on a little secret. If you buy direct from the author, we really like that. That's fun. That's fun for us. So we're going to give you the last words for this segment, young lady. Have at it.
Okay. Well, so tomorrow, Yellowstone County Fall 3. That's written with Raventhorn Books. That is the 3rd book in the Yellowstone series. So if you haven't read any of my in the October Fall World books, I would suggest starting with the Wyoming Fall. So you could do Wyoming Fall 1 and 2. And then I have a freebie story that you can get at the end of Wyoming Fall 2. And then Yellowstone County Fall 1, 2, then back to Wyoming Fall 3, and then finish with Yellowstone County Fall 3. Is that confusing? I have a handout on that.
They'll figure MillieCopper.com. They'll figure it all out. And that's going to be on Amazon, where you have hard copies available for signature also?
It'll be on Kindle and Kindle Unlimited, and then about 2 to 3 weeks, a hard copy will come out.
Outstanding. Well, Miss Millie, I certainly appreciate you being here. It was
Thank
a
you for
pleasure
asking
meeting
me.
you. Pleasure meeting you in Las Vegas. And listen, anytime you want to come hang out with us, you're more than welcome.
Great. It's been fun. Thank you.
Okay. Oh, look. Let's see. Koala says Millie protected Pete from the other big bad authors. Look, let me tell you something, Koala. It was different in Las Vegas. It was different. Now, it's bad enough just me going outside, but me going outside into that was another level of crazy there. So, Miss Millie, thank you for joining us tonight. We look forward to seeing you again. And anything you have coming out, hit us up. We'd love to promote it. I appreciate you.
Great. Thank you.
You're welcome. Bye-bye, guys. Well, there you go. That's Miss Millie Copper, guys. Sorry, I didn't mean to mislead you. We're not leaving. The show's not done yet. I apologize. But now you can see why I gravitated toward that young lady. She's a super author. She's a super person. She lives the lifestyle that we write about, right? So that's all we can ask for. I really encourage you to hit her up for not only her fiction books, but also her nonfiction books, because that's what we like, right? That's what we like. We like to learn about preparedness, and you learn a little nugget of information in all of our fiction books also. So thank you, Millie, for hanging out with us. Without any further ado, let's bring our brother from another mother with a hairier chin than I got, Mr. Russ Sawyer. Russ.
Hey, y'all. How's it going tonight? We'll see how long it lasts with me tonight. I'm going to switch my internet connection real
Oh, if you
quick.
switch it now, you're going to drop. There you go. He never listens, guys. He never listens. Leave it how it is, Russ. So, guys, what did you think about Miss Copper? Yep, there you go. You can't switch in the middle of a stream. What did you think about Miss Copper? Let me throw this overlay up. There he is.
Yes, I can.
You just got to be quick
You
about
can.
it.
I am quick about it.
If anything, I heard you are quick.
Always. Just ask my wife.
I heard the peanut gallery back there.
Yes, absolutely.
That was the first time you got to talk to her.
I really enjoyed that. She has some good information. She is up there in the Big Sky area. So I'm looking forward to getting into her books, because I know my wife is, because that's from where she's from. So she'll get to live vicariously through Millie's words. But I think it's going to be a good.
Yeah, I think that she really is. Look, 25 plus books. Good gosh. And she works a full-time job. That's hardcore.
That's hardcore. Absolutely. And I've already downloaded the first 3 books of the Montana series. I'm going to probably start on those maybe tomorrow, in between other things I have to do. But T-shirt sales, let's talk about that real quick in case I do drop out.
Okay, you do your thing.
All right, guys. As a reminder, we do have T-shirts available for sale for the Eden Army event, 21 to 23 February. Women's Phoenix as well, and we're going to put a drop dead date of ordering is midnight this coming Saturday, the 18th of January. That gives our vendor, Matt and Leanne, to get the material in, get the products made so we can get them to the event on time. So for those of you, some of you need to check your emails. I have sent emails with a QR code for my Venmo to allow you to pay for it. We do have other avenues as well, but please contact me direct if you want to use a different venue or a different way of doing things. So that's all I have on that.
Perfect.
Pete.
I love it. So get your shirts, Russ. And did you see? I should have wore it tonight. Did you see that hoodie that we got out now?
Man, yes. I'm going to be ordering mine on Tuesday.
Now there's a little debate on who actually put in the first order, because Will usually is the first one to put the order in. But I'm not sure. I have to check the time because it may be down to seconds. Mike FIB might have beat him by seconds. I gotta look it up. So
Diana, PM me your email again, just to make sure I have it correct on my list, because I sent it to one email and it kicked it back, and then I resent it again and it went through. So it went to the one I have. So if you'll reach out to me.
so
No, she wasn't actually.
She's a sport, but I did try, like during my monologue, to I know that she brought some viewers over from some of her platforms, so I did kind of want to warn them a little bit that look, we might be a little bit of high strung.
You did a very good job at
I
that.
appreciate it.
Yeah, you did a very good job. But as soon as you started doing that, I'm like, oh, I know why you're doing that.
Exactly. It's like you taught me.
Yeah, the polos are pretty good there, Mike. That's what I have on tonight.
No,
my Eden Army polo.
I dig the polo.
I do too. I do prefer the shirts that you have on, but my wife's. I went to go put it on tonight, and my wife's like, "That's too wrinkled for you to wear." I said, "So grab your iron," and she's like, "I'll put it over your head," and so I'm still here. So I was a good husband and put the polo on.
Well, Russ, you know what they say? You never buy your wife a watch for Christmas. You know why? Because there's a clock on the stove.
Ah, very true. Very true.
I'm not going to be able. I'm not going to eat for now.
Well,
I'm done.
I'll have to find the picture.
I'm a dead man, Russ. I'm a dead man. Just so you know.
Oh, I'm sure you. I'm sure you are. I'll have to find the picture to show you, Pete, and maybe we'll put it up on here one week. This was, wow, 15, 16 years ago or later, 2009. We had our grandson, he was our youngest grandson at the time, and he was with us, and we went grocery shopping, and Teresa needed a new broom. So I took a picture of it in the cart and promptly posted it on Facebook saying, "Look, I just bought Mama a new ride." And boy, you want to talk about attention? I called him for her, all of her lady friends, but it was worth every second of it because it was just timed perfect.
Oh, I'm taking heat in Kick Chat, buddy. I'm taking heat.
Oh, you're getting blasted over there. Speaking of,
this is great.
Yes, yeah.
That is awesome. I joke.
That is.
I'm just joking. I love her with all my heart.
Oh, we know this, but speaking of Kick Chats, I got to come back up here. There we go. This is the one I go. This is. Hey, no, you know what happened, and Mike? The last time Teresa and I got in a fight, she goes down on her hands and knees, begging me to get out from under the bed and fight like a man. That's one of my
That's
favorite
awesome.
jokes.
Egghead, I don't know what to tell you. I suspect your friend lives in communist California who is burning right now. Maybe. I'm not sure. That'd be my guess if I had to guess.
Well, and on the Amazon note, they're delayed here. They're delayed down here as
Hmm.
well. Chris has been expecting a couple packages, and he hasn't received them yet. But I think it was bullshit that mentioned it. Sourdough biscuits and gravy.
Yes, that sounds
That
amazing.
might be something I can get around. I'm not a huge sourdough fan, but I do love Melissa's sourdough, especially when it's nice and hot, fresh.
Oh, now the
So
women are banding together against me now. Should have never let those two meet. I'll tell you that much.
true.
So, Russ, I hear Joe Biden got all the hostages released.
That I heard that out of his very own mouth, and I'm surprised he didn't just burst into flames from the lies. That's just Russ's opinion. Struck by lightning, I don't know. I mean, maybe it's because he's already dead. We just don't know it yet, or he just don't know it yet. I don't know. But that's that definite Trump, the Trump effect that you were talking about. You still got liberal heads exploding. You got his cabinet nominees that are making left-wing Democrats' head explode and make them look like idiots during the congressional confirmation hearings, and I'm loving it. I'm loving every second of it.
Well, the entire wokeism, the entire ideology is imploding with them. You look at the FDA after years and after other countries saying, "Look, this red number 3 is bad for you. It gives you cancer." Now, all of a sudden, because Trump's coming in office and RFK is coming in, right? Because they're coming in, they're like, "Oh, we need to ban this."
Oh, ban red dye number
Right.
3.
I mean,
It's
this
gone.
is all the Trump effect. The man hasn't even he hasn't even been inaugurated yet. Liberals are losing their mind. They're jumping ship. You got the FDA finally doing what they should do, which is protect the American people's food supply, right? You got Hamas is now wanting to give over hostages, Russ, because guess what Trump says? There's
Yep.
going to be hell to pay in the Middle East if they're not released. And
TikTok.
look, if I'm Israel, I don't agree to a ceasefire. I rain hell down on Hamas, and I let Trump see if he's a man of his word. That's my opinion, of course, not the opinion of the sponsors, but that is mine.
Yeah.
Will asked what was in the cups today. Well, this is some type of scotch, and I think Russ is on the Woodford.
I'm on the Woodford Double Oak.
I agree with you, Rev. No ceasefire. Get all the hostages released and then talk about it. But remember, when Netanyahu said the only way we're going to stop this war is when Hamas is completely annihilated and all of our hostages are returned. So,
well, and Will said Netanyahu says he's not going to the inauguration. Did you see that Trump told the Secret Service about? He said a single drone, a single incident. He listed a couple of different things and said, "This happens, I'm doing away with the Secret Service."
Well, who knows? We'll see what happens. He usually doesn't go back on what he says. Looks like not Pam Bondi. Pam Bondi is going to fly through with passing colors. Also, the Senate. Am I mixing up the two? Pam Bondi and the other one to replace.
Heads up.
No.
Oh no, Marco Rubio.
No, Rubio should do fine. Also, he was taking. It's not an accident. He's taking all these people from Florida, which we're the only state that remained free during the COVID scam. That's right. That's right. YouTube. That's right. Facebook. I said COVID scam. All right. We're one of the only states that stayed open. And that's because of our politics. All right. And come to find out now, a scathing report, Russ, that everything us conspiracy theories were banned for on Facebook, everything we were banned for on YouTube and TikTok, it's all true.
Yeah. Hey, our bingo cards are
Yeah.
full. We're almost to a blackout
I
in
know.
bingo. You know, and it's just amazing. So I'm gonna scroll back up here because this was Bullshite's response to my what he struck by lightning, and I thought it was quite hilarious.
Oh shit! I'm already planted. He says basically.
Yeah, he's got a good ground. As an former electrician, you understand ground.
Yes.
Ground can save your life. It might shoot through your heel, but it can save your life.
What is that? I don't understand this one here from.
That's a good question because from my understanding, and I haven't looked into it, we are getting some of the hostages back, not all.
Correct.
So I haven't looked into that, Diane. We'll have maybe I'll do some research and I'll reach out to you separately. Unless you know something about it that can cover my end on
Well,
that.
I looked at the numbers today, and for every woman hostage that gets released, they're giving away 50 terrorists that Israel has in custody. 50. And for some of the other hostages, they're giving 100 terrorists away per hostage. These people are going to go right back into doing what they did before, right? I told my wife, listen, Israel, listen to me. Forget the life sentences. Forget that. You need to enact a death penalty. That way, this is never an option. This is never an option to give 100 of these life sentencers away for one hostage. It's not an option. You're negotiating with terrorists something you said you never would do and something America said they never would do. And then this is what happens right here.
You know, Israel has a lot of tech. Let me tighten my tinfoil hat a little bit and apologize to Emery up front. Russ's conspiracy theory of the day. Yeah, we're releasing these folks. However, they have some type of an implant put in them that's not traceable except via GPS. Oh, look, they're going back to their bosses. We know right where their bosses are at now.
That's what Melissa said, but she said something a little more sinister that they should implant in them. But I won't repeat that on the.
Yeah. See, Patrick, I did not read your comment. I just saw that.
I don't know the answer, Koala. I don't know the answer. And last I heard, even though Biden came out and gave that spectacular speech about how he fixed everything, Netanyahu is not squared away with the deal yet. So,
yeah,
I don't know. Look, I wouldn't be squared away with the deal. I would decimate anybody that's on their borders. I would decimate anybody that lobs a bomb at them. I would decimate anybody that puts a drone in their airspace. And then I'd say, okay, cease fire because there's no one there to fire back at us. So that's what I say.
Yep, absolutely.
So, very cool.
100%.
Guys, last week or 2 weeks ago, and I missed it last week, I told you one prep a week and that you would come back here and chat and tell me what your one prep for that week was. I'll tell you what mine was. A couple of them actually, since we went 2 weeks. We did a little bit of tactical training here at the Eden homestead. And that was fun. But also we did, it's not all about bullets, right? Sometimes you need those beans. The wife hit the pressure canner and canned up some food for us. So we got our 2 weeks squared away. Let's hear what you guys in chat have done for the last 2 weeks in your preparations. Look, we're not 100% out of the woods yet. I always tell you live, but don't live in fear. But that doesn't mean you stop your preparations, right? So let's hear what you guys got.
Because I mean, Trump's not our savior, guys. I mean, I voted for him, as I'm sure the rest of us out here did, but he's got a tough hill to climb. So,
Yeah, and he's it's not. I mean, he's still got those rhinos that he has to contend with, and with such a narrow margin, it's gonna be tough. Outstanding. So Corey says he's getting Mrs. Gnome's get home bag together. Awesome.
yeah.
Terry, I knew Terry'd be on something. Extra canned food, bulk packages of stewed beef, canned with potatoes and onions. Outstanding.
Okay. Ed, we're not talking about little orange sherbet things.
Yeah,
So,
he's eating those little stick pop things.
yeah.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
here's the deal with those little arms Ed has anyway. He doesn't have to
I
do
know,
very much with
right?
pickup. He's like
I know, right?
Tyrannosaurus Rex. Rev said he found his missing pew pew. That's good.
That's always a good thing. That's always a good thing. Finding your missing pew pew.
Kelly, good. Stay on that. The wife will be happy. Let's see. What did Eric Coy say here? Perfect. Outstanding. We're going to do a little bit of that. I don't know if you heard me tell Millie. It's true. I can't even deny any of that.
Yeah, it's going to be I think the Ruckmark's going to be an interesting little event for you guys. We'll be holding down the fort at Eden Army at the Eden place. So,
yeah, we decided we're not going to bring any of the pups with us. So Toby will go to Grandma's house because he's pretty useless. And Remy and Sawyer will be here guarding the compound with you guys, Russ. Brianna vetoed me bringing Sawyer.
That'll be fine. Perfectly
there you go,
fine.
Dan. Yes, it does.
It counts. Barter. Quick sugar fix. Absolutely.
I can't even say anything because Melissa is going to make me freeze dry some stuff for the hike. So I'll be doing candy here real soon, Dan. Range time. Let's see who we got. Guy did some stuff. Guy was out here during range time, organizing some preps. He bought 5,000 staples. He did.
Yeah, I've been doing a bunch of range time. Teresa and I have.
Yep. A guy bought that tent that I recommended off of Amazon and came out here and set it up. That thing is friggin' awesome, Russ.
Is it? It definitely worked better than the other one.
Yeah, absolutely. That thing is awesome. So I may end up getting one of those. Let's see. What is this here? So for you're enjoying the book. I ordered it, but I have an issue with the right eye, so print is making a struggle. I don't know which book we're talking about there.
Well, he's talking about the tent that we discussed on Black Friday.
Black Friday, yeah, that tent, that thing was awesome. It only weighs like 3 pounds, which is crazy because it was really cheap. And my tent weighs 2 pounds 3 ounces, and I paid like 5. You know, when you start crunching those ounces, Russ,
yes,
that's where you start getting rid of that.
Hey, ounces equals pounds, pounds equals pain.
Yeah, 100%.
And guys, I'm going to give you a little hint that I received from as I got beat over the head when my bug out bag was initially taken apart by Angry American and under the guidance as well of tactical rifleman Carl Erickson. If you have something in your bug out bag that is still in the packaging, get rid of the packaging. Every little bit helps. Every last little bit helps. And I can't stress that enough. Medicine, yeah, the plastic bottle will keep them a little safer. It will be lighter.
I'm looking, Will, for that tent. Do you remember the name of that tent guy? No, I'll look it up real quick. That way I don't have to go through my newsletter. I grabbed Iroquois says.
There you go.
There you go. every little bit matters, guys. I would say start stockpiling as much food right now as you can. Uh, that's
Absolutely,
really
100%, Larry. Yep.
yeah, Larry. And I also, to what Larry's saying, I bought some stuff we can spray on the outside of that to make sure it seals it up properly, because I did read that review and it definitely helps if you seal it up. So, let me get here. Let me go there. I don't remember the name of that tent. Oh, there he goes. I'll pop it up here in a second. One
The guy
Tiger.
posted.
Yeah.
Yeah. One Tiger's Boondocks. Okay. All right, Eric Wiles. No, those can stay in their packaging. Unless you're using it to cover the muzzle of your pew pew.
Let me see. I'm looking. Well, bear with me, buddy. Here it is. Still good price on it. Bear with me. I'm working it, buddy. Work it. Okay, here we go. Coming in hot.
Yep, Guy, I would recommend setting your tent up Saturday morning and see what it looks like come Sunday or Sunday. Monday, it's supposed to dry up here at least Monday. Monday and Tuesday, and then it's going to be cold Monday and Tuesday and Wednesday is what we're seeing in the weather.
Yeah. Yeah, and if you want to come out this weekend, Guy, and we'll spray that stuff. Yeah, come on out this weekend. Good to go.
You better do it early or check your weather.
Russ, Melissa said there's a place in town here that serves New Haven style pizza. She wants to take me tomorrow night. Now, I'm skeptical about going. I guess she's allowing me to eat pizza this one night because she wants to take her mom out. But
well, it's cheat day.
It is cheat day. But look, when you say New Haven style pizza, Russ, that's a different level of pizza, right? So I don't know if she knows what she's getting herself into doing this, but
well, you walk in, you check out the ambiance, you look around, look and see if you can see the wood fire.
Mm-hmm.
And if it's not
wood fire, got to be coal fired, or it's not New Haven style pizza. I don't care what you say.
Exactly. I've done that to barbecue places, and if I go to a barbecue place, if I don't see smoke rolling, I usually don't go there. I usually turn right around. You can ask Teresa, but that's just me. I've become a bit of a barbecue snob over the last couple of years. I cook a lot of it, as you know. And speaking of that that Boston butt that you smoked the other day, I didn't get a chance to taste it, but from the picture of it, it looked absolutely tremendous. So kudos.
Thank you. 10-hour cook, and it had the perfect bark, just like you taught me, Russ. Right. So yeah, don't buy any of that sealant. I bought some. I have some here. So don't buy any. We'll spray it. We'll spray it when you get here, brother. Russ, what do you think? It was a pretty good show, I think.
It was.
I love that Millie is into preparedness. I love that she writes about it, and I especially love that she writes nonfiction, how-to stuff, practical application, right? Because that's what, when we decided to start this podcast, that's what we wanted it to be about, right? So.
Absolutely. And guys, we are going to get back into doing some teaching in the class on the podcast in the future. So bear with us. We're working on some different things to go through with that. And I locked up.
No, you're good. I still got you. Yep. So that's it.
But do we want to do a couple of shameless plugs and then we'll call the ball?
Let's do it. You run the show there.
All right. So first off, guys, if you missed it last week, we had Brian Duff from Mind for Survival with his new book out, Mind for Survival. I've actually delved into it a little bit more, and I'm really enjoying it. Can't stress it enough. You guys have met Brian, a lot of you, when he was up at Outdoor Readiness. So I can't stress it enough. So just scan the QR code, and it'll get you right
Absolutely.
there. And speaking of mountain readiness, if you don't have your tickets yet, you're wrong. Because, number one, you have already missed the early bird pricing. But I believe if you go to Franklin Horton's website, he has a promo code that you can use in order to get your tickets at I think 10% off. I don't remember off the top of my head. But again, scan the QR code if you don't have your tickets.
Yep.
And since we're talking about scanning QR codes, and I'm not going to be like our luscious friend, the Dalton is still on sale. This is the first run. We have 13 left. So they are going pretty quick. Get yours while we still got them, or else you're going to have to wait a while until the next batch gets made. So
Perfect.
other than that, that's it, man. That's all our news is fit to print today.
Yep. And Battle Gnome says Mad Mick 10 gives you that reduced pricing at Mountain Readiness. Mad Mick 10. Russ?
And
go ahead.
Corey, I'm going to ask Corey real quick. Corey, did you get squared away with the camper real quick? And for those of you that may be interested in a camper, my source as of last known still has one camper left. They do a really good price. This is the one we got the camper from for Stalker Mom back in May. So they've taken care of the people that I've sent to them. So we do have one left. If you want a camper and you're interested, reach out to me via PM or whatever the case may be, and we'll go from there.
There you go. Battle Gnome says he has this thing squared away. So good to go. Russ, give us some parting words, brother.
Hey, guys. Live for today. Tomorrow's never promised. We all have an end date and a birth date. Let's concentrate on the dash. Tomorrow's never promised, guys. Train, get with your community, and have fun, guys. Have fun. That's all I got.
Appreciate you, brother. See you on the backside. Guys, great show. I appreciate you being here. Went a little bit long. I apologize. Thanks to Millie for hanging out with us tonight. I knew she'd be a good fit for our group because she's into preparedness. So good stuff. Look her up. If you like her books, grab a series. If you like them, grab the rest of them. 25 books. By the time you're done with all 25 of those books, I may be done with my next book. Maybe. Not a promise, but I wish I could write as fast as she did. So guys, remember, live your life, right? But stay prepared and be safe. And if you can't be safe,
watching the Eating Army podcast. Don't forget to hit that like and subscribe button. And remember, be safe. If you can't be safe, be dangerous.